This is how to make a 3-inch leather plague doctor mask key fob. I came across this idea in a picture on a Google search and copied the simple pattern by eye into AutoCAD LT. I could have downloaded the free pattern, but I drew the line so I could scale and manipulate the pattern depending on the materials I use. Also, since this is a very small project, you can incorporate the tools you are going to use into the design, like the type of stitching tools used. Regular diamond-shaped stitching holes do not work well because it is difficult to line them up. So I prefer to use 1mm row punches spaced 5mm apart and drew them into the pattern. The mirror function makes it easy to render the reverse pattern piece, which makes the stitching holes on both sides line up. An important detail I found using AutoCAD is to always make sure the drawing is locked in 1:1 scale before sending the work to the printer. I use a Glowforge laser printer to cut the pattern in 1/8 inch or 3mm acrylic so the pattern becomes a cutout jig to drag a knife along, and a durable marking gauge for the stitching holes, but a paper pattern glued to thin cardboard works too. 3 to 4 ounce vegetable tanned leather, or about 1/16 of an inch, is the thickness of leather you want to use so the mask will keep its shape and be easy to sew together. So lightly clamp the pattern on top of the leather so it does not move, and cut out the shape or punch the hole. To punch the small 1mm circle stitching holes, you can use a small dry punch, but to evenly space the holes around a curve, a 2-prong punch makes it easier too. Since these pattern pieces are sewn flat first, then sewn in place after the pieces have been dyed, the last few holes at the top can be punched after the key fob is partially sewn together to ensure the holes meet up for tight stitching. Bevel the edges that will be shown on the exterior of the key fob mask, then dye the pieces in the colors you want on the inside too, and allow to dry. Then burnish the edges and apply edge paint. The piece of leather holding a D-ring is called a tab, and you can make it a little longer depending on the size of the keys you have, and it is easy to attach securely with a small rivet. The individual mask pieces are saddle stitched flat, and the ends of the mask are butted together with a reverse cross stitch after the eye and top piece are attached. Lock the thread in place, then pass the needle through the back to the next hole on the opposite side, and wrap the thread to start the row stitching. When you reach the end of your stitching row, pull the thread tight and tie off the ends. Finish the inside of the key fob with an acrylic top coat and apply a leather conditioner to the top.